guys, anybody on here yet? Let's see. Hope this is working. I have not done a live for, oh, okay, cool. Got a few people. Hey, make a comment. Let me know if you can see me and hear me. This is going to be fun. I'm so happy to be back here doing some guitar solos with y'all. I have not been back doing this since 2020 in the summer. We did 4 different solos, and we had a lot of fun just really breaking them down and working on each phrase and the shapes associated with each one. So we're gonna do that again for Tony Rice's solo "Thinking About You" from Bluegrass Album Band Volume 5. I was just playing the solo while I was waiting to see if y'all were gonna come on, and I'm happy to keep kind of picking that, but we've got some stuff to do, so I'll play it one or two more times while people are joining in, and feel free to jam along on the chords, which are, we've got a capo 2, and we've got, sorry, by the way, I need to apologize about the audio today. I was unable to get my microphone working with good sound for you guys today. It had to do with one adapter I needed. And so you're hearing the computer audio. And I'm sorry, it's not going to sound as beautiful as possible, but hopefully this will be educational. And still not seeing any comments, so I'm hoping you guys are at least hearing me. Let me know. All right, so the chords, again, we're going to do a G chord with capo 2. 1 to the 4, C, to the 5, back to the 1, to the 4, to the 5. Hey Jeremy, so jam along with me a bit, just get in the groove. In your ear, 5, 1, 4, 5. Nice and simple. Okay, so you guys jam along those chords, get some of that in your ear, and I'll just pick the solo while people are kind of joining up here. Steve Mooney, I was wondering if you'd be here. Got some of my Kaufman campers, and I see Dixie Hoggins on here. Hey Emily, thank you. We are going to, what we're going to do is discuss the down up real quick, because Tony had his own down up technique, and 99% of flat pickers use downs on the quarter notes on the downbeat and up on the offbeat. So, 1 and 2 and down up, down up, down up, down up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So when we slide, we do a down. And then while we're sliding up, that next beat gets a ghost up. So when you hear me say, do a ghost or whatever, that's what I'm referring to. It's going to be a ghost up, ghost down to make up for that time. And I'm just so glad that you guys are joining me today, by the way. We've been doing Tony Rice solos for the past 4 times. And, obviously a lot's changed since COVID. Unfortunately, lost Tony on Christmas morning of 2020. So all the better now to share this, not all the better, that's a bad way to put it, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like we're on the other side of some things, and I feel like it's important to keep spreading and sharing his music and his solos. They meant so much to me as I was learning, and it's a joy to me to talk about them and to share them, and I'm happy that we're doing that. So we're going to start with the pickup phrase. It starts on beat 2 before the downbeat of the form of the verse. So in other words, on that golden way up, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So that's where we'll start on beat 2. We're going to play that C, obviously fretted C with a capo on 2. And we're going to surround, as we say, surround the major third. We're going to play our major third is a B, fretted B. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. So here's our third. This is a very bluegrass, jazz, rock, any style of music. The third and surrounding the third is a big deal. So we're going to try to get that in our ear, not just memorize, note shapes or whatnot, but we're starting on the 4th, C, and then we're sliding up to the 3rd, and then back to the 1. So that's that sound that we want to absorb, because it's going to be all throughout many of Tony's solos. And I'm saying that because I think I'm going to be able to do this pretty regularly if y'all enjoy it for the next few, at least probably 7 weeks, not always on Tuesday nights. But I want you to start recognizing some of these patterns, which is a lot of this. It's all over the place. It's surrounding the third. Or as one of my dear students once said, remember that time you told me about smothering the third? So yeah, we're going to smother the third. Down on the C, down on the B flat, 3rd string, 3rd fret, 3rd finger, slide on up to the B natural, and then a G. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Nice and easy. Next move is going to be this F right here, the dominant 7. Okay, we're going to do an upstroke on that with a pull off, and then end up on the G. Down, pull off, and then up on the G. So what is so cool about that is kind of in typical Tony twisted fashion, that melody note of each night, starts on the end of 1, and that's very Tony-ish. Do you hear how it's 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and? So that's where it's going to feel like we should be doing a downbeat, but we're doing an up there. Let's do that a few times together. 2, 3, 4, 1. 2, 3, 4, 1. You guys see me okay? Cool. All right. So there's phrase number 1. It's an important one. So we got to get started on the right beat. I teach a lot of guitar students, and what I find with these Tony solos is people practice them in a void, which means they learn it note for note, note for note, and then they'll just kind of start it without really hearing the beat in their head of the downbeat and hearing that one chord in their head. And then when they go to play it with people, it doesn't go with how they thought the music went. They had just learned a note for note solo. So we need to get oriented right from the get-go on where that downbeat lies. It weirdly lies during that pull-off. There it is. That D pull-off was the downbeat of 1. Weird. Okay? Next lick, super easy, simple, and fun, is just walking up the major pentatonic scale with a flat 3. And people, all my Kaufman students and everybody knows how much I love the major pentatonic. But we also add a flat 3. There's my flat 3, okay? Basically outlining a G run, okay? So you'll quickly see when we work together, I'm always trying to show you shapes and do ear training at the same time so that you're getting more out of it than just learning one solo. It might take a little bit longer, but it's worth it in the long run. We're going to walk on up from flat 3 up the major pentatonic. Kind of roll on up it and then back down. First finger, first fret, 5th string, down, slide. Up to the major 3rd. And then down on the open D, up on the E, G, A, G, E, G. Okay, so let's start from the top there. 2, 3, 4, 1. Point being, when we got that downbeat I discussed, we go straight to a down on the B flat. So your accuracy needs to be pretty precise there. You can use that open string to go ahead and get down there and grab that B flat. Okay? Okay? So far we've done the pickup and we've done the G chord, okay? Da 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 da. Headed now to the 4 chord, okay? What does Tony do? Something he very, very, very often does on 4 chords. On the C, in the key of G. So we visualize a C chord. 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. Okay. Here's my 3rd. Okay. Half step down is my flat 3. So here we are with that flat 3 again. This is going to be a theme this entire solo. So we're going to pull off from the flat 3 to 2. So all my Kaufman campers, all my Ashokan campers, all my campers in general, all my students know my love affair with this flat 3 to 2 to 1. Flat 3, 2, 1. Let's absorb that sound, get it in our ear because it is all over the place. Learn it up and down the neck, learn it wherever you can. Mainly just have it in your awareness. If you kind of don't feel like you're getting it right this second, at least me just pointing it out will, I think will help you to listen for it, and I think you'll notice it more. But as we move to the 4 chord, we're going to go ahead and pull off flat 3 to 2 with an upstroke, okay? Typical Tony, 1st fret, 4th string, 1st finger with an upstroke in our right hand. Okay? Pull off to the open D. So we do that twice, okay? So it's, and then an upstroke on the open G. Okay, so what we're going to do here is a quick 16th note pull off from the flat 3 to the D, and then an up on the root, the C. So that whole lick is okay. So next we're going to walk up the C chord like as if we're starting a C run, right, up the C major pentatonic scale. But stop there on the A and go back to the G. Okay. Everybody cool with how we're doing so far? I hope I'm not going too fast for anybody. Basically, I know how difficult it is to learn a new solo, and I don't like speeding up if you guys are not feeling it. So if any comments will help me to know if my pace is going too fast for you guys. Okay, so let's go back to that 4 lick just to make sure. Upstroke on the E flat, 1st fret, 4th string, up twice, twice on the pull off, and then we have a 16th note pull off with one stroke down, and then an up on the root. And then we're going to walk on up here. D, E flat, E, up on the G, down on the A, up on the G. And then next lick, we're going to go. Okay, this is an interesting little part for me because Tony, that's a common thing to do in the 4 chord because it's an interesting little, it tricks your ear. You're going to the flat 7 of the 4 chord, but it's also the flat 3 to 2 of the 1 chord. So a lot of people love that little movement, especially when you're going from the 4 back to the 1. And it's a common cliche phrase to do. And it's nice and easy too. It's down on that B flat, 3rd string, 3rd fret, 3rd finger, or you can go. You can use your 2nd finger as well. Down, slide, and then down on the G, up on the E, and then E, D, E. Now that's a teeny bit funky because we're still in the C chord in the song, but Tony's acting like he went back to the G. So I'm pointing that out so that you aren't confused when you like later go to play it, because that B leads us to the 5 chord, which starts on. Okay. So we have gotten almost through the first half. Please, you guys. Oh, thank you, Steve. You are letting me know it's just right. Thank you. I get worried that I'm either too fast or too slow, and what I've learned is that if I err on too slow, it's better for you guys because you're just trying to kind of grasp each phrase here. Let's back it up to the top and get to where we are now, which is we're about to hit the 5 chord in the first half of the solo. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's where we are. Okay. Next up, the 5 chord in the first half of the solo. Okay. Let's visualize. I don't think in caged system. However, I've been told by a lot of my students that this is called the C shape of the caged system. Okay. We are thinking in this D triad here. Okay. The 3rd is F sharp, 3rd finger, 4th fret, 4th string. 1st finger's on A, 3rd string, 2nd fret, and 2nd finger is on 2nd string, 3rd fret. There's my D triad, 1st inversion, right? Because the root position is here. Then I throw my root on top. Now I have 1 inversion, 1st inversion. This shape here is where so many of the D licks, or the 5 chord licks when you're in the key of G, are shaped around. So I basically see this shape no matter what when I'm playing licks in this area. So I'm just asking you, if you've never looked at this before, take a peek, practice this shape. It's 3 fingers, it's a triad, okay? Notice that if you put the F sharp on top, you're going to get a D chord. That's the 2nd inversion, right? Because we just took the F sharp and we stuck it on top. We inverted it again. There's our 2nd inversion. These are our available note choices in the 5 chord. So Tony goes ahead and swoops up that triad, starting on the 3rd here. sounds like I'm a teeny bit out of tune. So please put your fingers on that 5 triad, and starting with the downstroke, cross pick your way up. Hit your open E on the top, the 9, with an up, and then go ahead and hit that F sharp, G, F, back to the D with an upstroke, down on the open E. Beautiful lick, right? Quite simple. And a nice outline of that 5 shape that I want you guys to absorb like a sponge. It's definitely a usable lick for whatever. Okay. Questions? Comments? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Ghost down, up. I'm glad I went back and did that again because I hadn't pointed out that he has that ghost up. Excuse me, the ghost down. Did you see how I just did a little motion down, waiting for that beat to go by? Waiting for that half a beat to go by. Okay, the next thing frustrates at least one of my students. It's we're gonna go that's the next lick. So we're starting with this B flat and D, and we're gonna do an up stroke on that together as a double stop. So both 3rd fret, 3rd string and 2nd string. Okay, doing up. And then what we're going to do is slide the 1st finger down, and we're going to kind of deaden the 2nd string with our 2nd finger. And then up on the G. The reason is this sounds weird. See what I mean? So he just starts with that little double stop, bluesy and cool, and then only the A goes down. So we're gonna do up, down ghost, up on the G, down on the E, up on the D, down on the G. Okay? Let's just loop that a few times so you guys can kind of get used to that. I know you're going to be able to refer to this video again if you decide to learn this solo in more detail. And by the way, it's perfectly okay just to kind of like join these things, get some ideas, and then not necessarily memorize this note for note, just to kind of use it as ear training and, you know, following along. I think there's a lot of value for that. It's not like you're going to play a recital where you're expected to play this solo note for note, and you know, I get that, and I personally don't, you know, do that either. I don't play Tony Rice solos note for note unless it's at a jam and we're kind of like, oh, isn't this fun? We know this Tony Rice solo together. It's just, you know, educational, just to see how he views things and how he views the fretboard and how he hears things, and it's just cool. I mean, it just, there's some about Tony's solos to me that just feel good, and I enjoy, you know, learning from them. So that's why I'm here. Hey, Greg, good to see you. Let's loop that a couple times. 2, 3. Actually, let's start on this thing. Let's do that much, okay? Together. 2, 3, 4. Time. 2, 3, 4. Okay. This thing, that's a 6, 5, 1. Okay. When it goes back, he goes to the dominant 7, which I love. I love this about Tony. It's like, use the dominant 7, use the major 6. It just kind of fools your ear and mixes you up, and he doesn't just stay in minor pentatonic. He's just kind of using kind of what he feels. So that's our next move. E, D, G, down on the G, up on the F, down on the D, and then basically a G run. Okay, so for that part, we're going to do an up on the B flat, down, slide on up to the major third, the B, with a ghost down, up on the D, down on the E, up on the D, and then down on the G. So now that you're more comfortable with this thing, let's loop it a few times so you can get used to that phrase with the G run at the end of it. 2, 3, 4. So you're halfway through the solo at this point. Please let me know if I'm moving too quickly or if you have any questions about that first half. Seems like you guys are doing okay. I think you're going to enjoy this second half coming up. And let's do a little recap of the first half. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 1. I just realized something as I replayed that for you guys. Well, no, I think I did it right. Cool. Okay, next up, let's play the second half for you, okay? Starts here on the dominant 7. So again, that's so very similar to the first half up until that last lick, okay? Remember we talked about 4, flat 3, 3, 1. Now we're going to start up here on the 7 and go flat 7, flat 3, 3, 1. So this kind of brings me to, you know, the usability of any note, really, before the flat 3 to 3, like you can go, you can start on the 5, you can start on the 1. So you'll hear people kind of play around with that, and this is an example of that. Tony started with his theme of 4, flat 3, 3, 1, and now he's going to go up to F, flat 3, 3, 1, dominant 7, flat 3, 3, 1. Okay, so first finger, first fret, first string, down. Now a down on the B flat, slide on up, the ghost up while you do it, and down on the open G. Cool. And similar movement as last time, that pull off there from the F, upstroke, and then pull off to an open D, and then an open G with an upstroke. So that phrase, let's loop that together. Again. For 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay. Now we're back to similar up the G major pentatonic. So I'm not going to repeat that because it's like just like the first half. Okay, B flat to B. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the 4 chord. It's like the first one, which was just the pull off from flat 3 to 2, but it's slightly different here. We're going to do an up on the E flat again. Visualize the C chord. Put your hand on the C chord. Visualize. There's the 3rd. Here's our flat 3. Okay, we're going to do an up on that, and then down, ghost down, because we're going to do the hammer on, and then an up on the G, and then we have our quick 16th note pull off, which is just 1 downstroke, pulling off from the E flat there, the flat 3, 4th string, 1st fret, downstroke, pull off, and then an up on the root. So that's, and then I guess to get some of that time back, he's going to do a little down on the D again, and then an up on the C. So that lick is, okay. Okay, so let's get up to there from the second half, starting on this dominant 7. 2, starting on the 2. 2, 3, 4, 1. Do it again. 2, 3, 4, 1. Cool. We're going to do a little walk up again, the C major pentatonic. And that time we get to walk all the way up to the root. So D, E flat, E, G, A, C. Okay. This one we are going, after that, we're going to go back to that flat 7 of the C chord, remember? Which I told you a lot of people love to do in the C chord because it doubles as the dominant 7, the flat 7 of the C chord, of the 4 chord, and it's also the flat 3 to 2 of the 1 chord. It just sounds good. Okay, so let's loop that little 4 section for a second, okay? Starting with that upstroke on the E flat. To the A, ghost up, down on the G, up on the E, down on the G. And I nodded my head to show you where the downbeat of that 4 chord was, because these are pickups. Boo doo 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 So, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Hope everybody's still with me, enjoying this. I know it's a lot to take in at once. So we're going to go to the last up the neck licks, which are maybe the hardest to figure out for some people. We're going to move on to the 5 chord now, the final little bit here. I would like for you to visualize a root position triad up here, just a fancy term for 1, 3, 5 of the chord. Okay, so I'm on, pretending the capo were the nut, I'm between 5 and 7 frets, okay? My 3rd finger is on the 7th fret, 3rd string. My pinky is right underneath on the 7th fret, 2nd string. 1st finger is on the 5th fret, 1st string. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to find this shape. I know it can be hard to look at people backwards. This is an important shape. People use it for C down here, 2 down. People use it for D up here. Okay? When we have crazy up the neck licks, they're usually based around a shape. So they're not just, it's a lot easier for me to see them and for you to understand what they are theory-wise if you can see these shapes when you're playing the lick. So we've got our 1, our 3, and our 5. Okay? So here's our major 3rd. Now, just like in the previous chords, we're going to go to that flat 3. You knew I was going to say it. So here's the flat 3 to the 3. Okay? So this lick goes. I know you're thinking, well, why didn't you just show me that from the get-go? The reason is I want you to see this 5 shape here. I'm realizing you can't really see my right hand that well. I'm sorry about that. But now you can't see me. Okay, so we are going to go down on the E, up on the B, down on the A. Sorry, you maybe don't know the note names, but so down on the open E, up on the 7th fret, 1st string, down on the 5th fret, 1st string, and then up on the 6th fret, 2nd string, and then down on the open E. Okay? So he does that 2 times in a row. Nice and simple and easy. Feels good. But what he's thinking when he does it, what he's hearing, is a 5. Okay? Even though it's a little funky because we're leading there from a 9 to a 6 to the 5. Finally a chord tone. But now to the flat 3. And then back to the 9. It's a cool little lick. You guys cool with that? Okay. Now, next up, we're going to use that open E to go ahead and go to our next position up. Okay. So the next lick, that is going to take place up here in this area. Okay, so this, remember we talked about that caged shape that some people use? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think people call this the C shape. Okay, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Okay, up on, way up here on the what would be the 7, 8, 9, 10th fret. But I mean, if you're looking at it without, without a capo, it's the 12th fret. But I'm just pretending the capo is the nut. So upstroke on that with your pinky, and then down on the 8th up on the 7th, down with your pinky on the 2nd string, 10th fret, and then up on the 8th fret, and then so down right here on the 7th. Okay, hopefully that made sense. Okay, so that's all well and good. It's kind of based on this shape and this major scale sound of the 1. Just pretend you're like 5, 4, 3, 1, 2, 1, 7, and you know, in the 5 chord, starts on the 1 of the 5 chord and ends on the 3rd of the 5 chord. Okay. Next up, our pinky. Okay. Pinky hits the 10th fret with an up. Okay. First finger, 7th fret, down. And then upstroke with the pinky on the 4th string, 10th fret. So that's admittedly pretty tricky to do at a high speed. I pulled off there. Pulled off from the 8th fret to the 7th fret. Okay, let's loop that a few times. Starting with an upstroke, because we go upstroke on the next little bit. Okay, here we go. So keep that pinky down, because the next lick, we're going to bar down with our pinky. Okay? We're going to bar down with our 3rd string, 7th fret with the pinky, up on the 4th fret, 4th string. Okay? This part is admittedly pretty tricky, because we have a down now after that bar down on the root there, the tonic of the scale, and then up on the, so I'm sorry, this is I like to tell you guys fret for people who don't know note names and scale numbers. It is the 8th fret, 2nd string, down, and then pinky on the 10th fret, 3rd string. So that's down, up. So starting from the top of this lick again, pinky, go back to the 10th fret with an upstroke. And then, Okay, so this should be easy to visualize, because you're visualizing what looks like a D chord here. Okay, it's the 1 chord. It's an A chord, but it's a G chord if we're pretending this capo is the nut. And what we're saying is we're going to outline that, but starting with the C above it. C, B, G. Okay, this is a nice little cliche for Tony, because we have the 4, 3, 1, 5, flat 3, 3, 1, and we get to use that open G to get down for the rest of the solo. But a really creative little lick up here that gets used quite often in a lot of his solos. We're going to see that if you guys want me to do one of these again. There are several solos that use this shape, so you can become an expert at it. So let's do that lick again, starting up here, 10th fret, pinky, upstroke. think I might get a little bit closer just so you can see. Upstroke again, pinky, 10th fret. Bar. Okay. Any questions about that lick? That lick is tricky. What's cool about this note is what makes it sound so cool, I think. And then we walk on up. Okay? Please let me know if you have any questions. You guys haven't commented in a while, or maybe I'm just not seeing it. All right. Okay, so the next part is just going to feel way too easy. We're going to pull off from the flat 7, which is down here on the 3rd fret, 4th string, and go. So. So up on the D, down on the F, and a pull off. So you've got your D again, right? And then down on the open G. And so let's connect that lick with the down here again. And now straight to an upstroke on that B flat for our kind of backwards G run leading to a G run. Flat 3, 2, 1. Upstroke on the B flat, 1st fret, 5th string. Pull off with the ghost down, and then up on the G. And then we're going to go down on the open A to start our G run. What is a G run? A G run is a punctuating cliche in bluegrass that really just outlines the major pentatonic with the flat 3 and just kind of ends most solos here, doesn't it? So let's start with this lick again and go all the way to the end of the song. Did I finish outlining the G run? Sorry, I took for granted that you guys probably already know it, but if you're here, down on the B flat, and then up on the B. We have an open A, up on the B flat, down on the B natural, up on the D, down on the E, up on the D, and then down on the G. Yay! That's all the notes. So let's just kind of workshop that tag lick from up here and get from down there to our G run stuff. Okay, starting way up here on the 10th fret with our pinky. We're seeing this shape, right? We're seeing this arpeggio. And our ear is internalizing that this is the 5. Because he's like, point being, he's in the 5 for part of this high lick, and then takes it to the 1 during that. So that's why we're hearing at first these, right? That's a 5, straight up 5 melody there. So let's start it again. Upstroke on the 10th fret, down the scale, and then you know what to do. did that for you guys because I just realized that I hadn't really talked about the that upstroke on the G he does. That downstroke there. He pulls off from the B flat and then does that G there. So between this, there's a big old loud G natural downstroke. It's a lot of back and forth and finding the correct string, which you can practice doing drills to get better at doing that, because it's just hard on the fly to have that accuracy like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, good job finishing this solo with me. I think I'll play it starting super slow so you guys have something to play along with, to put it all together. And let's just kind of slow it down here and start from the top. Actually, I'm going to slow it down even more so that you have something ridiculously slow to practice with and you can get precise. Oh, that's really slow. See if you can join in. 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's get one kind of mid-tempo here. Pull off that last lick at tempo here. Sweet. So exquisite tempo for Tony to do it. There's still tons and tons of value to doing this at whatever tempo. It's really about just kind of learning for me and kind of getting into that headspace of how somebody else might hear a solo. It really helps my ear to kind of ear train somebody else's phrasing that I wouldn't naturally hear, and ironically it later kind of becomes my own because I get so used to it. And what I'd love to do is visit with you guys once a week with this Tony stuff. If you'd like that, let me know. I was thinking that next week would probably be Wednesday for me. Tomorrow is my birthday, which is why I did today, and I'm flying to Virginia to see my dad. He and I share the same birthday, so he'll be 80 tomorrow. Happy birthday, Dad. We're going to go to a concert together in Washington, D.C. I'm super excited. And see my buddy and producer, Bill Wolf. And we're going to go to the show together with my mom. That's going to be super fun. Point is, thank you, Eric. Point is, I'd like to look at Wednesdays. And I'm going to try to do it pretty regularly so that you guys can listen to the solo in advance and feel free to make requests. But what I'd love to do next week is probably Teardrops in My Eyes solo from Tony, or How Mountain Girls Can Love. And the reason I picked those next is they have that very similar phrase at the end that you guys are going to recognize. And when we slow them down, you're going to see how simple some of these things can be, especially if you're hearing it. I want you to get used to hearing it. One thing I've noticed, because I teach quite a bit, is that people want to be told kind of where to place their fingers, and don't put as much emphasis on the ear training. And the ear training just, it's everything. It's the 99% of everything. Instead of being told where your fingers are, suddenly your ear is like, oh, that's the 4 to the flat, 3 to the 3, and I know that cliche, and you just play it. So it seems so simple and seems so obvious. I'm fully aware that it's not. I'm fully aware that it takes, time, years and years, a lot of being told the same thing over and over and over again. And so if you're feeling that you've had to learn something a million times and you still don't have it, that is actually what everybody feels like. I'll teach someone, 52 lessons a year, tell them the same thing, at every lesson, and sometimes they'll act like they've never heard it before. So, and these are, people who are surgeons or lawyers. I mean, they're used to details, but music, sadly, just doesn't. It's not the same as intellectual stuff. It doesn't just sink right in and jump into our long term right away, sadly. So we just kind of need those drills and the daily repetition, and I'm here to help. I'm going to post this. I hope the sound wasn't bad. My guitar probably didn't sound that great with the computer microphone, but anyway, see y'all probably next Wednesday. I will let you know by late Friday if I'm confirming, so you can set it aside and listen to Teardrops in My Eyes and listen to How Mountain Girls Can Love, and we can decide which one. Thanks so much for being here. Any questions? Comments? All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy. Bye.